Listen, Annie's parents were killed for a piece of plastic pizza. I want you guys to just stay home and not get hurt.
But come on, you promised us.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to take care of those guys together.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss. I'm Tom. I'm here with Eric, Brittany, and Tyler.
Welcome back.
Hi, Tyler.
You know, I was listening for like 2 months, and I was like, where am I?
Yeah, we got used to having you around, and then it was just hard stop.
Yeah, hard stop, but it's all right.
We had to go
I'm
cold
glad,
turkey.
I'm glad to be back. Glad you guys had enough separation from
And we
me.
could not have had you back for a better movie.
And a better experience, yes, of course. So tonight we watched the movie Breathing Fire from 1991, and it was good.
That's been our episode.
It caught me off guard. It still caught me off guard. So I guess we'll go
Not what
into,
I was expecting.
yeah, I guess I'll go into the why.
Why'd you pick it,
So
Tom?
it was my pick, and I picked it because there was a conversation on Twitter where Crap Film Club, they posted this image series from this movie, and then the fine folks at the Bristol Bad Film Club tagged me in it, and I saw it, and then immediately bought it on eBay, and then made it my next pick, purely based on that transaction alone.
Nice.
So now
You
we're
were
here.
eagerly awaiting its arrival
I was.
for what seemed like weeks.
I know. I was really upset it didn't come like immediately, but it got here and we watched it and it was a good time, and that's why. And so now it's time for the what.
Have fun explaining this one, Tom.
Tell us all about the pizza.
Okay. So this movie is about. Hold on, let me check.
If you need
It's
help
about
with
a
names.
bank heist.
Yes, it's about a guy named Michael who is a bad guy who robs a bank, and he's got two sons who are like good guys, who are also like martial arts sons,
The worst.
and shit gets out of control with the bank heist.
Well, one's not actually his son.
Well, that's true.
And
One's
that's not really spoiling anything.
His
so.
adoptive son.
One's adopted, one's his actual son, and that's all I know about their relationships. And then I don't know.
Okay, I feel like the movie is more about the two sons on the trail of who committed this bank heist and murdered this girl's parents. And
Yeah.
as it goes on, they're training in martial arts and eventually realize that their father is involved.
The brilliant thing about it, before you continue explaining this movie, the brilliant thing about
I was
this
hoping you guys would finish.
the brilliant thing about this movie is that essentially, like, every person is associated with a bad guy.
Yes.
Because the girl is the daughter of one of the bad guys that helped steal from the bank.
Yes.
The two sons are the bad guy's sons.
Yes.
Like, you know, the only one that you could question is a good guy is Uncle David.
Is David, who knew that
yeah.
it was that the sons were the sons of the bad guy.
Yeah.
But didn't say anything?
I don't think he knew that he was the bad guy.
You don't think he knew?
No.
He did, I don't
He
think
knew
knew.
he knew he was a bad guy. He didn't know he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because they went to Nam together, and he was a bad guy there.
Yeah. Michael was a bad guy in Nam who killed Charlie, his not real son's mom in Vietnam, and then took Charlie home because he was peer pressured by David at
To
Nam.
be responsible for his life.
So anyway, the rest of the movie is about the two sons trying to uncover who killed Anna's mother and father, and they get training from Uncle David and utilize that training in order to uncover all these fucking 2,700 mysteries that along the way.
2700
Yes.
Slices of pizza.
I feel like this movie needs like a departmental organization chart to follow.
Well,
This
here's
is a disaster.
Here's a question. Is it so bad that we can't describe the plot to this movie without describing every little detail of it? Or is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I think we covered it.
But, I mean, there's so much
More
involved.
than enough.
It'd be really tough to walk. I feel like this movie was made with no studio involved whatsoever because it would be incredibly tough to pitch to a studio exec.
Yep.
So, no, I think it'd be tough to explain this movie without getting it.
Without
It's
getting
tough to
detail.
explain it, but while you're watching it, it makes some semblance of sense.
It's
No.
really simple.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of facets to it.
Yeah. I guess you can't boil it down to one thing without explaining another, which is what I think makes this movie great.
Because it's about a heist, but by no means is it a heist movie.
No.
No.
Is it ready? Is it time for successes? Are we ready?
Yeah, well,
Do we
Ready
want-
is pushing it, but yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So let's start. Who
We're
wants?
ready to even be doing this episode.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
So what did you guys pull from the movie? Successes.
Fight scenes were fun enough.
Yeah.
Were fun enough.
Actually, they ended up being pretty cool. That was me being pretty reserved towards the beginning, but in retrospect, they're a plus.
Yeah.
Quality martial arts.
I agree.
Lots of high flying kicks.
Lots.
I know how Brittany feels about kicks, so she had some reservations. But
I enjoyed all the kicks because most of them were just like full throttle, both legs in the chest.
I have a question for you, Brittany. Did you count how many kicks there were?
I didn't.
No kick
no
count.
kick count.
That would have been a lot of kicks.
That
Though.
was disappointing.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
did we count kicks in before?
Only the strong, right?
Yep.
Or was it 3 ninjas? I can't remember.
I think it was only
I
the
think it was
strong.
only the strong.
All right.
We had
I
a
forgot all about that.
huge kick count and only the strong. But I don't know. I guess I can agree with that. Everything was done really hard. Like all the hits were hard. Every time someone hit the ground, it was really hard.
Yeah, they didn't cut away at like the crucial scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crucial points, contact points. I felt like everyone was really going for it.
Yeah. This is kind of okay. So, anyone else have any successes for the movie?
I don't know if this is an intentional success in the movie, but this movie is goofy as all hell. And that's what makes it really fun to watch.
Yeah, I get. Well, successes is a subjective term that we can say. Was that a strength of this movie?
Well, I would go in two different directions with this, though, because places in this movie that were intentionally trying to be funny were terrible. And the places where it was trying to be serious were hilarious. So I don't know how to take this kind of part of the rating. Like, it's very difficult to figure out. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would say in terms of comedic content, a total success, because this movie is just a fucking laugh riot.
I had
Yeah.
dialogue as a strength for sure because it's so bad that it's hilarious.
Yeah, this is having the same kind of effect that Samurai Cop has, where it's like, well, there wasn't really anything successful or necessarily negative, but was just full of entertainment.
Yeah, I have a lot of notes, but I feel like I didn't write that many. If that makes sense.
Okay. Oh, Tyler, what about you? Do you have any?
Sexy Jack.
Oh, okay. That's a success.
That was a success. Although it was kind of at a weird time in the movie.
Yeah, the movie showed a
Premature ejaculation was in the middle of the movie.
exactly. Yeah, it showed a wave crashing on a rock on the beach, and as we all know here, that represents one sexual ejac
A la Samurai Cop.
from the Samurai Cop movie, and they showed it mid-movie, and then went into a training montage, and
Yeah,
so
it was
I was
a
like,
real
"Whoa,
weird spot.
this is a mixed message for me. I'm reading this the wrong
I
way."
was like, I don't think this means what we think it means.
One giant success is this movie is just a massive amount of favorite parts.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one favorite part after the next. Like we had to rewind so many times because
did.
everybody was writing their last favorite part, but then another one immediately happened. So
that is a very good point. So.
I don't know if we should talk about the pizza key for strength.
Let's get the elephant out of the room.
Because initially I had pizza key under negatives, and then as the movie rolled on, I was like, I'm wrong.
Let's
And I scribbled it out.
we should establish what the pizza key
Oh,
is.
of course.
let's
Right.
explain the pizza key.
Okay. So basically, after the bank heist, the robbers lock the money away in a safe, and then they take the keys to the safe and imprint it on a pizza crust, like a plastic pizza crust, and then destroy the keys And then each member of the gang gets a slice of the pizza so that no one person has access to the gold that's in the safe.
Listeners, she's not making this up.
This sounds fucking stupid. It's because it is.
And we did not have explained to us that it was actually a plastic pizza until about halfway through the movie.
I-
We thought they were carrying actual slices of pizza.
Yes, and that was such a strange choice, but it ended up making this movie so hilarious. And I love that people talked about it so matter of factly. Like at one point, Uncle David just goes, "Listen, Annie's parents were killed for a piece of plastic pizza." Like everyone should know what this means, but nobody does except us.
I just don't understand how they thought like that plan would work. Who cooked that one up? Literally, I want to know.
You know what I want to do?
I'll forgive you that pun.
I
do.
want to go back and watch the first scene in the movie again because I'm trying to put the pieces together over who
Are you still
it
missing a
was,
slice of pizza?
who it was making the plastic pizza.
I just thought it was like clay at first.
I thought it was
and then
clay,
I was
too.
like, he said
It
everyone
was-
gets a piece, and you were like, no, he definitely said pizza. And we rewound it, and sure enough,
He said pizza.
And like some of them looked like puppets. I want to go back and rewatch the first scene again.
Well, the opening scene was so confusing because it was just a really long shot of a ton of fake food that ended on a guy who was like cutting a slice of pepperoni pizza, grabs like the smallest bite of pizza, takes the bite, and then is so satisfied he clenches his fists and he's just like, yes. and then we fade out and
I
we're
forgot all about that.
now we're in the movie and I still don't know what that means.
Should we go back? Maybe it's
yeah, we have
somebody
to.
in the gang or something.
It might be Michael. It might be Michael making the pizza.
Yeah, I think
No,
it might have
because
been.
but then they made the pizza later.
Having
like,
the conception of
Yeah,
the idea.
we should definitely do. We need to go back and rewatch that scene.
do you think that scene was just a bunch of tests? Like, hey, maybe I can turn it into popcorn or something.
Yeah,
And he's like, no, pepperoni pizza. That's the perfect one.
it totally could be.
Oh, God, what a terrible scene.
But it made it so good because every time someone mentioned it, it was comedic gold.
Yeah, the pizza was fantastic. And I feel like that's just like a 9-year-old's idea.
Anytime it showed up, it was hilarious. It was just perfect. Like the girl had it in an envelope.
Oh, my God.
She like handed it over.
Like, tried to mail a slice of small plastic
Yeah.
pizza.
And Uncle Dave has the perfect response to that, which is, what the hell is this?
Oh, it was so good.
The training montages were actually pretty good too.
Yeah, this movie had one core competency. It was the martial arts, which, I mean, for a martial arts movie, that's what it should be. And it just failed perfectly in every other respect.
Yeah, I'm surprised this movie hadn't come across us sooner. You know, considering the way this
style.
movie, yeah, exactly the way this movie was done.
Well, I mean, if are we still continuing successes? Because I have a failure related to that.
Then let's absolutely move on if we have no more successes.
Let's move on to failures.
And let's start with failures. Eric.
The marketing for this movie is all wrong.
Okay.
Exactly what I
Explain.
So the DVD cover of this is Bolo Young shirtless, posing, looking awesome. I think the
doing a
backdrop.
flying kick or something.
No, he's just
No,
looking,
he's
like
just like-
he's getting like a good pump on. You
He's
know,
like getting
okay.
Saiyan.
and there's like fire in the background. I think.
Yep.
And the title of the movie is Breathing Fire. So, I mean, this just looks like another generic, like, Bolo Young, forgettable kung fu action movie that might not even star him. Like, we weren't even sure if he was in it because even though he's top billed, he's not even in the synopsis for the movie on the back of the
Yes. And he played a goon named Thunder.
Yeah, and he was still awesome, don't get me wrong.
Rockin'.
But this movie didn't need to sell me by putting Bolo Young front and center. Really didn't need to. It needed to sell me on the fact that there's a fucking pizza key and there's like a fucking breakdance fighter like doing shit in the middle of a dance floor.
Oh, that guy
And
was
then-
awesome.
Oh, man.
And this movie is just all over the place. And like all they had to do was just sell me on how fucking bananas this movie was instead of trying to put Bolo Young front and center. Because
Yeah.
if they hadn't done that, we would have found about this movie a long time ago.
Yeah, like just let us know it's for 11-year-olds, and like I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was a kid's movie for sure. But it's weird because it's rated R.
Yeah, and it has a wonderful quiz to go along with it.
Oh, yes. The DVD had quite the most pleasant quiz. 3 questions that we took at the end, and we got a 100.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the questions?
They were all.
Who was Jenny's dad?
Oh,
Something
that's
to that
right.
effect.
Who
Like-
killed Charlie's mother?
Who'd she deliver the letter to?
Oh, there we go. We came up with it. Good job, everybody.
Also, they didn't even reference her by name. They just
Yeah,
Yeah.
they called her.
It was just like the girl.
which is exactly what the movie thought of her, because she just randomly would appear a part of this family, which is they just throw her in
And then she would vanish.
and then she vanished for like 20 minutes and then she just shows back up.
She would teleport into scenes.
Yeah, it was crazy. And like, you think like, okay, well, we saw her watch her parents die, like she's going to become like an important part to getting to the end. Nope.
She
Not
meets
at
Michael
all.
and doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah. And I don't know. That was definitely weird.
I wrote that you can tell this movie is made for kids because someone got knocked out by a suit of armor.
Yes, very childish. Any other failures?
I have a bunch of them.
Okay, so you've got a bunch of failures.
I have a bunch of failures because, in all honesty, like in most circumstances, I'd really fucking hate this movie.
Oh, for
Because-
sure.
because the acting's terrible. That was my biggest thing. Like, acting is atrocious in this movie. Oh my god. They never concluded scenes. Like, they would just move on to the next scene.
Yeah, I had some beef with their storytelling choices.
Yeah, it was very frustrating because like I was constantly left looking at you guys like, wait, why are we moving on?
yeah.
Like they're not
here.
done yet.
Namely the last scene.
Yeah, and I think Eric had mentioned it during viewing, but like we don't know if it's a comedy or not, right?
It's definitely a comedy.
Well, so if it is, they
sort
missed.
of.
Like one more failure on top of that is A, I don't know it's a comedy, and B, they missed out on a ton of pizza pun opportunities
Yeah, they
They
really
throughout the
did.
entire movie.
We didn't get that pizza payoff.
No
Yeah.
pizza payoff.
No.
like
pizza payoff.
like no pizza payoff. No, at one point somebody says deep trouble. They didn't even say deep dish trouble. Like, nothing. No pizza puns. So I was left wondering why, if it is a comedy, why it wasn't funnier.
Yeah,
Like intentionally funnier.
exactly. And
I feel like
intentionally.
this wasn't written incredibly well.
I don't
Well,
think
what
so.
would give you that impression?
It's like the last scene, he's like, is it Tony?
Tony's
Yelling
Tony's the
brother.
at Charlie about bring my dad back.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then it just hard cuts to a karate competition.
Yes.
No explanation, no
No.
resolution, just here we are now.
Yeah.
So questionable.
It was there was a lot of shoddy work, and I feel like a part of the comedy in this movie was the poor acting in the moment, and then the way this movie was then cut together afterwards was just so comedic. Like I don't know, it was
I think
unspeakable.
I think we said it while we were watching it. Like, if we tried to come up with something this bad, we wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
Like, we wouldn't be smart enough to be this funny.
It was a perfect storm of everything.
It was quite entertaining.
It
I
was.
have to give it that.
Anything else for failures? Because honestly, didn't have anything written down because the movie is so blatantly like wrong.
The sometimes the music felt too Asian.
He's Vietnamese. I mean, they were
No,
kids.
I understand that, and it doesn't really take place in Vietnam. Though.
No,
Takes place in
You know what I
California.
mean? Like, yeah, it just had that. It had that Asian martial arts music feel, but it takes place in like L.A.
Yeah,
You know, so like as much as this is a martial arts movie, it wasn't Bruce Lee. It wasn't Jet Li. It was
Wasn't even Samurai Cop.
it wasn't even Samurai Cop. And like the menu music was deceiving, where it was Super NES,
oh yeah,
and we're hoping that was the way it was going to go, but it didn't go that way. Didn't feel that way.
yeah.
You know?
I guess that's that wraps itself into the misrepresentation of the mood of this movie,
Totally, yeah.
which maybe that kind of thing was stuck on like after the fact, like all this stuff, so that it was like, oh, this just needs to be a part of the pack, not like offset it. Like Eric, you had a really good idea for like what the cover of the movie could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Pizza Key.
yeah,
Pizza Key, obviously, yeah.
obviously,
Like,
it's-
it seems like they didn't know what movie they were making. Like, it was sort of a crime movie, and it was mostly a martial arts movie, but then sometimes it was a comedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was an action movie. Like it's very difficult to figure this one out.
They didn't know where their strengths lied.
Yeah, and then
Laid.
they just crammed it into action. Like they wrapped it in an action wrapper and stuck it out there, and then people got disappointed, except for us.
Oh, clearly.
We were pleasantly surprised.
And on that note, actually, I have one more failure. Like, we don't really have a clear main character.
Yeah, that's a good point. We
That's-
do bounce around. I mean, I guess our primary main character would probably be Charlie.
You want to say
Yeah.
it's Charlie, but like it's
Yeah.
you can't be definitive about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then we have Uncle Dave. We kind of follow him for a while, and then he sort of just like fades out for a little bit.
They just use their characters as like pawn chess pieces. You know, like let's pop in on this guy. Let's check out this guy. Let's see what move this guy's gonna make. That's
Yeah.
probably giving this movie too much credit.
Yeah.
To compare it to the game of chess.
Anything else before we move on to favorite parts?
I have an arbitrary rating factor 1990 to report.
Okay.
The ARF 1990.
So what is the ARF 1990?
Today, the ARF 1990, for anyone that hasn't been listening to the last couple episodes, is our arbitrary rating factor. And before we start the movie, I pick one thing at random that I want to see in the movie. And if it appears, that's a success. And if it does not appear, that is a failure. Today's ARF 1990 was smooth jazz. There's no smooth jazz in this movie.
No smooth jazz.
There was no smooth jazz, but guess what? There was.
There was a forklift, and it was used as an offensive weapon. So I feel like it's going to be a break even because I was asking for forklifts in last week's movie, and it did not give it to us.
Did last week's movie give us
What are the odds?
smooth jazz?
I can't remember.
Megaforce? Prob not.
I don't think so. No.
No, definitely not. Okay.
All right. So
Interesting.
We'll call the ARF 1990 a wash today.
Oh, yeah, it earned it. All right, so favorite parts then.
Bolo Young was in disguise as an old grandmother when this movie started, and it cut to him. We did not know it was Bolo Young, and I said, "Hey, is that Bolo Young?" And then he took off his wig, and I was like, "Oh, it actually is Bolo Young. I was just being a jerk."
Yeah, that was when they were robbing the bank. Yeah, that was fantastic.
When they were murdering the girl's parents and they slammed that guy's head on the piano
Oh my God,
and then punched him, that was great.
the piano head slide.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
man.
He wanted his head on the piano.
across the keys. That's immediately what I thought of. I had a hard time like writing down favorite parts because it was just a jumble of ridiculousness.
Yeah, this movie as a whole, every 5 minutes could constitute a new favorite part.
Yeah.
Like this movie was just a bunch of just an array of amazing moments.
Yeah, that
That-
made no sense together, but
Like they
mean,
made enough sense
yeah.
together, but individually you can enjoy every little aspect of this movie.
The kiddie pool was my favorite.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
really
dude.
good.
Okay, explain what happened here.
So Charlie and Tony are fighting one of the goons' tank, and they're both taking him on, and they both kick him at the same time, and he gets knocked back into a rocking chair, and the rocking chair then falls backwards into a kiddie pool, and the kiddie pool then. Like all the water just kind of spills over him. That's pretty fantastic.
Such an awkward looking shot.
It is really weird.
I think my favorite part about that is because he landed in a rocking chair. Him falling backwards was so slow.
It was everything about it was so slow.
It was slow, but like he couldn't stop it.
I was like thinking when it was happening, I was like, I wonder if this actor was afraid he was going to get hurt. And he was like, put me in a rocking chair.
He was a mama's boy, that's for
Because
sure.
it was so slow and weird.
Yeah, and then the water, it felt like the water was coming down in slow motion onto him, but it was a kiddie pool, so it wasn't going to be that much water anyway.
I don't know. That was fantastic.
Very surreal because like everything in that shot looked like it was in slow motion, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was very clearly done in
real
actual
time,
motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I guess I don't know. This movie has had so much to. There's so much to say about it that I don't even want to say anything because I'd feel bad about not mentioning other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any?
Well,
favorite
let's get as
parts?
comprehensive as we can.
Yes, I mean I've had a couple favorite parts. I loved the paint rolling dance scene. That was exciting when both Charlie and Tony were out there just roll painting a wall,
Like a mud hut.
a mud hut or something. I have no idea where or why really, but they're doing it. And then like this dude comes up
Yeah, they're breakdancing, buddy.
He's like the breakdancing guy, and they're like trying to like dance and paint roll, and then he starts like dancing and paint, but he's like way better at it. So then they kind of roll him into finishing the whole job for them while he's just dancing and painting
They
the whole
Tom
time.
Sawyer him. They're like, "Bet you can't do it with 2 rollers."
And so he gets the job done, and he dances his heart out, you know, and it's fantastic. And we see that man again later
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes, though.
when he does like breakdancing karate,
Yeah.
and beats bad guys up, like, and
In like a nightclub,
yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like dressing all leather, like he couldn't.
Michael
you,
Jacksoning it.
You could not ask for more from a scene like that.
We
Movie should
could've-
have been about that guy. That's the
I
only way
was
this
gonna
movie
say we
would've been
could have
better.
asked for more from that guy because we only see him like twice.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, why isn't the movie about that guy? Answer me that.
I don't know, but I think we have a new movie that we can start pitching. It is Breaking 3, Kung Fu Fury.
Okay, all right.
I thought the end. I have under favorite parts, but just because it surprised me so much, how fast Michael turns on Charlie.
Yeah, dude, that
And
was
he was
so
like-
hard.
So he starts like beating the shit out of him, and Charlie's not even fighting back. And then he goes in for the kill, and he's like, "Get ready to meet your mother in hell." I was like, "Whoa, you raised this guy from like a baby, and now you're just gonna beat the shit out of him and tell him you're gonna kill him like his mom? You sick fuck!"
Yeah, that was real top shelf, like
Yeah.
real quick.
For like 0 to 100 in no seconds at all.
I don't know. They just had to make him really, really bad there at the end.
I was
Well,
just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
In the flashback, he very much doesn't want to take the kid with him, though.
I know,
That's true.
of course not, but
Uncle David makes him.
Yeah, David makes him, which I feel like David's partially responsible for,
oh yeah,
because like it's well established at this time that he's a good guy,
David. Oh yeah,
and he probably would have done a good job of raising Charlie.
No, instead, just put this young child in the custody of a man that strafes a house without looking at it and
Yeah.
then kills a bunch of people.
A madman,
But
essentially.
yes, a crazy person.
Real responsible.
yeah. Anything else, Tyler? What do you have for favorite parts?
I got one more. I got the Bolo peck shot
Okay,
where he moves his
Dancing pecs.
Yeah, they got real close on Bolo Young's pecs, and he does a quick move with them. I always appreciate that stuff.
a little quick bounce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quick couple bounces and cut out.
Looking good in that baby blue Nike tank top.
Hell yes, yes. I mean, I guess an overall favorite part would be Goon Game.
Oh, solid Goon
Game.
game.
Solid,
Strong.
Yeah.
solid Goon Game.
This is one of the
Definitely.
better Goon games we've seen in a long time.
In a bit, yeah. And it was good because it was, I don't know, it didn't get too convoluted. Like it didn't, like the plot didn't like swirl around itself in a bad way. Like they would establish something and then not address it, but bring it back later. But not in a way where I didn't understand it, but in a cheap way. You know, just
Yeah.
like, hey, let's just make some cheap decisions.
Yeah, and you never really see any of the goons kind of like get taken out.
Yeah,
They keep coming back for more, which is,
exactly.
Kinda cool.
And they're there, and like you understand who they are when you see them again. You're not like confused about whose role, like what their role is. You just get it.
Yeah.
And they keep showing up, and they're fantastic on both sides of the coin here. Any other favorite parts? Any other favorite parts or questions that we have?
I have one last favorite part, and that is that Charlie has a mobile made out of inflated condoms in his room.
Oh, okay.
Seems about right.
I really liked at the end during their fighting competition when Charlie, I think it was Charlie, was fighting that guy who just went like, "Wah!"
Oh,
for
the guy
like
who was
4
like
hours.
grunting. Oh my god! Like
That
this
was really funny.
Oh my god! There's so many little fucking things about
Just
this movie.
odd choices everywhere.
Just
I like how they specifically went to Alan's nightclub to give him the plastic piece of pizza. Despite fighting everybody. they're just there to give him the plastic piece of pizza.
I
And
know.
then they still fought him,
Yeah,
even though they
still
had
fight
every
him.
intention of giving him the pizza.
yeah.
And they
They're
still
like,
fu-
let's test out what we learned.
Oh my gosh!
Also, how can we forget that his entire nightclub is staffed by midgets?
Oh my
who,
God.
That was real weird.
Fight them.
And that they were making like short jokes to other people.
Yeah.
That was oddly
It was
uncomfortable.
really weird.
Yeah, that whole scene felt like
Like really out of place.
out of place.
This whole movie feels out of place, so in some ways it worked.
I just can't believe this movie happened.
Yeah, really, exactly. Like I think like the first time I watched Samurai Cop, I had the same vibe.
Yeah.
You know, like why? How did who made these decisions?
Who did this?
But
Yeah.
then like the whole all the parts of it, even though it's a terrible, terrible movie that no one should enjoy, it's amazing.
It is.
It is really enjoyable.
It embodies doing everything wrong right. It's the embodiment of that, which is always the sweet spot. All right,
Who did Annie deliver the pizza slice to?
Tony?
David.
Congratulations.
All right, let's rate it. So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm gonna have
you.
to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, so a unanimous fuck yeah for Breathing Fire. Gotta
Yeah.
say, huge recommendation. I'm so glad that someone thought of us when this movie popped up to them, and just really glad I was brought in to that so that I could buy this. I felt peer pressured because they're like, you can get it on eBay. And I was like, well, let me see. And I went on eBay. I was like, $5. Okay. And then I just bought it.
Worth it.
Totally worth it.
Totally
It
worth
took me a few minutes to get on board, but ultimately I really enjoyed it. I feel like if I had seen this movie when I was a kid, I would have like loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I was in on the DVD menu. I was like, okay. All right, because I was skeptical.
Oh, it has a quiz. I'm in.
I was like, I can't wait to take the quiz after the movie's done. I had a biography on Jonathan K. Kwan, who was Charlie in this movie. So that was interesting. An interesting special feature.
Data.
Yeah, from the Goonies and Indiana
round.
Jones. Yep.
Well, yesterday, Tom had asked me what I had planned for this weekend, and I said, I don't know, probably just sit around and do nothing for once. And he's like, why don't you come watch Breathing Fire? And I was like, all right, let's do it.
How could you turn that down?
I feel like if I didn't come over and watch this movie, my life would just be so sad. This movie has partially completed who I am as a human being.
This movie lit
Wow.
up your life.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad it can fill holes in your soul.
Yeah.
That's great.
Great job.
Eric, what about you? Any additional?
My only disappointment with this movie, and I might want to spend more money on it, is that the transfer of this DVD had a terrible ghosting quality.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
There were some scenes that were very difficult to follow. There's like a strobe light fight in the nightclub that is just completely unwatchable, unfortunately, and that's
Oh, it
no
was
fault
just
of the
black
movie.
blobs.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone out there is aware of a better encoding of this movie, like a specific version of the DVD or the VHS to get, I will spend money on it.
Yeah.
So,
They need to remaster this for Blu-ray. I'm
oh
sorry.
my god, yeah! If we can get like whoever did like the Samurai Cop
yeah.
remastering on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
we should absolutely
Consider
get
it.
this treatment on this movie. That
Yeah.
would be so good.
Well, that would be great because then we can use your awesome poster idea where there's like a pizza key and everyone's like trying to grab it. You know, because that embodies this movie more than Bolo Young with his shirt off.
Oh yeah,
It should be Charlie and Tony high kicking with the pizza key like flying out in front of them and all the goons trying to grab it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it.
It's a very
Print
good
it.
idea.
Cut, print, sell it. All right. Any final thoughts, guys, on Breathing Fire?
No, this should just absolutely be part of everyone's B movie watching experience.
I would.
Like,
Yep.
Along with like Samurai Cop and Miami Connection. If someone was first getting into B movies, I would say this is one that you got to watch.
Yep.
If you can't handle this movie, then B movies are not for you. Don't bother.
Yeah, this is a huge recommendend. Recommendend. What the fuck?
Recommendendum.
This is a huge recommend for everybody. Absolutely.
Sexy ejacs and pizza fucking keys.
Yeah. Oh, I will say one thing too that I didn't bring up because I didn't quite know where I wanted to bring it up, so I'll just do it now. Is I feel like they use like little props everywhere, things like the pizza and things like they trained with like a bowling ball, and then they brought that back later when they knocked someone over with that technique, so they had like the sound of a strike like happen, and then they used like watermelons and just big wacky stuff. I don't know.
It was very wacky.
It was just it was wacky.
Big fun experience, really.
Yeah.
You can tell they were probably having fun on the set too. I think.
Yeah, I don't think this
They
was
knew
like
that they were doing like.
yeah, this wasn't like a weird movie. I bet it probably was real quick to shoot, and
Yeah.
they just got it done.
I don't think it was an Amir Shervan experience, even though the results were kind of similar.
Yeah, interesting. We're done. Thanks to Bristol Bad Film Club and Crap Film Club for bringing this movie to our attention. And if you'd like more information on Second Class Cinema, head on to Facebook, facebook.com/Second Class Cinema. If you'd like to listen to us, you can start wherever you're listening to us right now. You can also find us on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, secondclasscinema.com, and followingfilms.com. We're all those places. Thanks, Tyler, for coming on and watching this movie.
Yes,
No
indeed.
problem. Thanks for having me.
I know.
For completing my life.
Always a joy.
Excellent. Yes, I know it was short notice.
No, it wasn't short notice whatsoever. I had nothing to do today.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm really glad we watched this. This is great. I'm glad I own it. It just makes me feel good.
I can't wait to buy it.
Good
Yeah.
choices all around.
Yeah, good choices. Good choices. Good night.
Pizza,
Pizza.
pizza, pizza,
Pizza,
pizza,
pizza,
pizza,
pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza, pizza.